And we're back. We're back with the third game of the semi-final between David Eldar and Gautam Jayaraman. Gautam has brought the game back to 1-1, having won the previous game that we weren't watching. And having started the first game, is now starting this game. As you recall, with the first game he drew Aitatis straight out of the bag. Let's see what the fingers can do this time.
And just to refer back to game one, the people of Gotham City have taken a little bit of revenge on the Joker.
This is true.
Alright, this opening rack is much less promising than the previous one we saw.
Less promising,
that's pretty clear.
But an immediate play, surely going down here, gripped. Once again, holding them upside down.
Yeah.
David's drawn the first blank already.
David's drawn the first blank. Question is, will he get a vowel with it? At this point, I try not to think to myself, I want a vowel, because this will guarantee I draw out. Okay.
Plenty of vowels.
Get a vowel.
One is enough.
He's in a good mindset with this.
Mm-hmm.
He is in an excellent mindset.
So, yeah.
Because there's no bonus. Sorry, but there was silence there because I was going, why is it not suggesting to play the bonus? It's because there are none.
Yes, it happens to be.
Wow.
Jiminy Christmas.
That's incredible.
So how long will he spend checking? I just spent about 5 minutes.
I don't think he'd spend too long. I mean, the only... Well, actually... No, I think you'd only be thinking about the I. You should know very quickly that the R doesn't have anything. The G definitely won't. Maybe the P.
Double T.
Yeah.
But I suspect he'll know quite quickly, more quickly than slightly lesser player.
A mindset is where you find explosive badges. That's MINED, and that wasn't anywhere near as quality as my last jokes, so I apologise. So anyway, the sim, yes. Ignoring what I've just said.
Yeah, it looks like David's holding gripped because Gautam hasn't drawn tiles yet.
Yeah.
But he holds lots of things, so
yes.
and he challenges lots of things, so it's not really worth.
But Gautam could draw by now.
Yeah.
He could draw. Yeah, he could draw his
Choosing
courtesy.
not to.
But he hasn't.
He's challenging gripped. That's weird.
Well, he made 2 bad challenges against me.
It's the difference between playing a bonus and not playing a bonus.
Yeah.
So he's saying it's a very unlikely successful challenge for a lot to be gained if it succeeds.
And he's got a good feel for the probabilities in the expected value. Even if he's only like 5% sure it's bad, he'll probably make the challenge because the difference in score is so great between it coming off the board and it staying on the board. And the chance that 5 points decides the outcome of the game, especially 5 points at the beginning of the game ends up deciding it at the end, is going to be very small.
But, no. I mean, it's great, we can discuss that, but you should know gripped cold. I mean, at the end of the day, he's just spent 5 points he didn't need to spend. Sorry.
Yeah, whether you challenge it or not, it's still a word.
Yeah. This is such a horrible position to be in again. I mean, you've got to be thinking to dink off a couple of tiles through the D, mind or tinned.
Maybe just mid.
And Don't play misgripped.
Don't play. I think mid No, I'm not so sure about mid. I don't think it capitalises on your rack. I prefer creating a volatile S hook, like playing Mind or Tin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what can Gautam play that doesn't make it the move after make it volatile?
I don't know, but he's hoping for a floating
Can he play
C,
something
E, E, S for stick leader, which I don't think he's going to get. Or postcard like. Oh, Triclad.
That would be the brand name spelled that way.
What is David Eldar up to here?
He's
I think he's
thinking Mind.
I'm looking at the way that the blank is set up in his rack there and thinking about some of his previous interviews as to what he might want to phony with.
Yes.
Well, that's what happens in my brain quite often.
Yes.
He's going.
He
for
needs another 4-letter word after that mind, and not the one that he has.
Absolutely, he's planning to have a mind skit.
There's
There's a little bit of drama here.
I think Tinned is marginally better than mine, just because it's a bit more synergic with the other T. But
and the place where the S is going to go in a word to MIS blank is going to be in the middle, which will let it fit on the board more.
Yeah.
And it'll score a couple more points. But if he's drawing that, it really doesn't matter.
So now Gautam is he's in one of these positions again where few scoring opportunities. He's going to be thinking, how do I keep a decent leave? Ilk screams out because you're setting up the A hook underneath. Doesn't give away anything on the double word score. If he wants turnover, he's got Titlark.
Yeah, nothing too spectacular at this point, but
No. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Ilk, I think. I mean,
Seems reasonable.
Strongest.
yeah. Just taking a quick look at the sim that's running. Not far behind Ilk is Glyke, 20. But when I say it's not simming far behind, but I would say it's a fair amount worse than playing Ilk at this stage. I'm sure if he's played Ilk, it's the right play.
It also
in
seems
a normal play.
Standard.
And
is
Mr. Eldar chooses a bonus fairly quickly.
Davis played Tentiest immediately, which is one of the million 74-point bingos that he has available.
And in a position like that, conserving the time is probably more important than trying to milk, whatever possible positional advantage out of all the different choices. You want to play it down from H8, as that's going to restrict the bottom part of the board instead of opening up some new real estate on the top of the board. But once that general principle is satisfied, that's about the extent of the thought that you need to go into.
So Gautam with another very clunky rack here. I picked out RAX to go with Drat. You'd be thinking about utilising the hook on Ilk, maybe with Taxa. Something like Dark is quite a Nigel-esque move to set up the X. Crackle is suggesting extra at H13. which would be a bold move.
Is that the sim or the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Simming best.
it's simming third. So currently the
That's-
sim is showing dark. Actually, the setup I mentioned is top. Sax is next, but I don't like that with the clunky leave. Extra is third best.
Yeah, extra's a little enthusiastic.
Yeah. Thing is, he needs to outdo David. He needs to be extra dar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we stuck in here for the rest of the afternoon?
I know.
Ah, well.
Or maybe it's the special sense you employ to know whether someone's had a bit part in a film. So
Yeah,
that's-
extra dark.
I mean, my gut play would actually be something like Taxa here, but it's well, actually no, it wouldn't, not with 2R keep. So he's played dark. Dark is
Does
dark
play
is
dark.
top sim.
Which,
Yeah, well done.
that's-
So you got to say it's a good play.
Yeah, that's-
Benefit of it as well is obviously you're keeping an EX T whatever play. So the scores now are 60 to Gautam and 85 to David Eldar, who has picked a fairly nasty rack. Are there any?
Oh wow.
yeah, these wrecks are there's just not
Yeah.
too many options generally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and find how can I get rid of as much as possible.
Yeah. What can I unload here?
Exactly. Can't even unload because
Right.
the A is in the wrong spot.
Did this have no? But not even really a place for that.
Olnad is looking attractive. It's also one of the
Yes.
highest scores possible at 14.
Yeesh.
But
Yeah.
LON is really
It's
grotty.
it's not
Yeah.
good, but it's the best, probably one of the best leaves out of that rack.
Mm. And actually, it could be transformed with an I pickup because you've got
Yeah,
the
but
G to
Olnad-
come down on.
Mm-hmm.
All that will give Gautam a place to play Oratrix.
Mm.
If he sees it.
It looks like he's going to play. I think he's going to play nulls. And is David assuming that Gautam is fishing by playing 3 tiles?
And for the chat, this series is tied at 1 game apiece. Gautam got his revenge on the Joker in the previous round, so
Mhm.
it is
Yeah.
1-1 in this best of 5.
And also wondering how David's mindset is after losing that last game. See if that comes into play, perhaps in his play in this game and for the rest of the series.
David's played nulls. I mean, it's simming 6% behind Olnad. He may have done it reading in what Gautham's style is like that he's been playing for bingos. So therefore he's
Instant RAX.
created a position. Yeah, RAX instantly played. Nowhere for Oratrix.
Yeah, I mean after dark, you're not gonna put him on a Y.
No.
So that opening, you're not too worried about.
One of those classic racks that doesn't make anything. No sevens. David also in a position now where he's opened up that bottom left triple word score.
Oh, and
which he may feel he's forced into taking. A really interesting option here would be to just play Opa through the P, because you're not only keeping D, E, I, and G, but you're then creating the D hook to play your bingo next move. He's played Agio, which now I'm simming it, is simming top. So good play.
Yeah. Pretty much a standard play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gautam, short of vowels, has a single bingo, which is thrustor. David has indagate. It would be interesting now if Gautam doesn't see thrustor, fishes off a couple of tiles, 9 timers indagate. But I can't see where he's going to fish off a couple of tiles that doesn't block indagate. Maybe play hot and Oda and tax. I mean, something like Troth wouldn't be a bad play, apart from the fact you're setting up huge Z and J positions. Just looking at the sim, actually Tot and Hot at A11 are simming within 3 or 4% win of Thrustor. So it wouldn't be a major miss, even if he doesn't see it, as long as he plays one of those.
In general, missing blank bingos is a lot less of a problem than missing natural bingos, because your keep is that much better. Like, you have a blank, and so the actual equity loss of missing a blank bingo is going to be a lot less. It may be, in this case, the equity is actually only about not quite 10 points of equity loss by not playing the blank bingo. So it's actually only a medium-sized error if he doesn't play it.
So he's playing
a phony, which will be challenged off. And in fact, that should be an insta-challenge. Yeah, insta-challenge.
Yeah.
The only bingo in that is Thorn Set. The problem that David now has is, are there any 9 timers with... I mean, he's going to give him a bonus by playing Indicate. So that's probably why he's shaking his head. And he's going to lose out on the exchange.
Yeah, so it may actually be that you can't play Indicate.
Well, I think he has to. I mean, he'll take some time to work out, can he get a 9 timer? But he's got such a strong rack. Surely you have to just try to come out.
Have we checked that?
Possibilities? Well, not yet. I'll check now. But
and also, I mean, he'll see Thrustor and know that it was missed.
Yeah. He certainly got shortest if nothing else, if Indicate gets played.
But if they trade bonuses, he's at least got rid of the S and the blank.
Yeah.
Even though he loses out a few points. Again, this is I think where David will be quite quick at working out what he needs to worry about.
Yeah, and
many other players would ponder for several minutes.
Right, because
and maybe not play it because they're not sure that it exists.
Yeah.
Whereas he can be very confident.
It takes a lot of time, because for every play that you consider, in this case it's basically the bonus or not the bonus, but for everything you consider, you have to then figure out exactly what your opponent is likely to do, because and you can't take the shortcut of doing a heuristic or sort of assuming 1 or 2 tiles and sort of calculating things in a hand wavy sort of way.
The move I took longest in the whole tournament was when my opponent played a phony bonus,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because my bonus would have given away more than my actual
Mhm.
bonus score
Yeah.
to a non-bonus.
Yeah, I had one this tournament where my opponent played a phony bonus. I took it off, and I was holding Isotine, and no matter where I played Isotine, it would put an E in the triple
Yes.
lane and give him a real bonus that he
Yes.
was going to find.
That was the same sort of my evasion.
So,
Yes.
I ended up fishing off the eye, keeping Satine, let him fish something off, break up his bonus rack. And there wasn't a blank involved, so it's not like I was
So,
trading something.
Doing the number crunching, which we have the benefit of doing with knowing the rack, Indicate still has a 63% win, and is significantly better than any other choice.
And
So I think you have to play it in these situations, and you have
Yeah.
to go, you know what, I'm gonna be 10 down on the exchange, but at least I'm 10 down and not 70 down. Takes 84-point lead, expecting to be behind again, but not by much. So shortest, Thornset, Thorite, Throstle.
There's an added element that you might burn a lot of time here. That's an added consideration from David's
Yeah.
point of view.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to
Except-
spend some time looking for a
Exactly,
nine-timer that's
yes.
not there,
Which he
You
probably
know.
will. Yeah.
that could be...
Except that it looks like he's set up shortest.
Yeah, he'll play shortest, you would think.
It doesn't look, a 9-time doesn't look that feasible. That's pretty quick, actually.
So down it goes, shortest.
So I'm now 4 points behind David. But David with a really clunky.
Yeah, and Wabin in the chat points out that you can play shortest quickly because you can assume that somebody of David Eldar's caliber will know if there's a nine-timer
Indeed.
and
Yes.
wouldn't give it to you if it was there.
Mhm.
Which that's a very good point. It's in that position. It's probably a shortcut you can take.
Do we have any other word from the other semifinal?
Let's see.
Has the scoring continued?
Let me inquire.
Eldar plays F and Cat.
So David's played Cat almost immediately. Interestingly, simming slightly behind Obos underneath Indicate, but only just. Can't blame him for getting rid of the queue.
Mm-hmm. That was a decent pickup.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, if you played oboes, what do you do with the Q? You have K'd over at 10C.
There's still 3 U's
And
unseen.
there's a bunch of U's.
Yeah.
If you pull a U, it's a gorgeous rack because QAER. I mean, there you go. But Cat is probably the safer play. Get rid of the Q and get a score and move on.
It's interesting what Wei-Bin said about against a player of David's caliber, you'd assume there wasn't a 9-timer. I then immediately thought, I wonder if Nigel would play it knowing there was a 9-timer, so that you would assume there wasn't a 9-timer.
Yes.
He's in my head.
Yeah, that's definitely a Nigel thing to do. And
Yes.
everyone would nod their heads and be like, "Oh, that was brilliant! That was brilliant!"
Interesting, with so many O's and E's out, just fishing off the F gives you a load of plays onto both G's. So you've got clearing, relacing, caroling, oracling. Crawling, if you pick a W. Clarting. There's loads of draws to a bonus if you actually fish now.
We've got Sim on an F dump.
It's looking good.
Yeah, it's top.
The sim likes it, and it hits with a lot of stuff.
Where does it want to dump it?
Facts. So
That's fair enough.
just clarify, so that the sim is currently showing C11 facts for 13 points. Is top. It's a win percentage of less than 50%, which is interesting. But I guess that just assumes that you're going to be 20 up after the next exchange if you bingo. And if you don't bingo, you're going to need a bingo.
Right.
And he may then get into the whole chasing a bingo thing that we had in the first game, which in these kinds of where the scoring counts games, well, which is every game, you need to be keeping going.
Yeah. We have an update from the other room. Harshan has an early lead. He's on 140, and Austin is at 88 in the early stages of the game. So we'll keep an eye on that and let you know as it progresses.
Looks like he's going for maybe calf.
Well, it seems odd given
Calf,
his
yeah.
2-letter change earlier
Yeah.
that he wouldn't just play the F.
Yeah.
His style is obviously to go for bonuses.
But he may be defaulting to thinking that rain is the stronger key because he's looking for subsets of retain, as opposed to realising actually the synergy of Clarin plus the 2 Gs. I mean, this is one of those situations where you really need to look at the board and look at the potential that's on the board as well. Because you combine those Gs with a keep of Clarin, it's very, very strong.
Maybe if they're more obvious floaters, it would be more obvious play.
This is something that I think, though, that some even some intermediate players might be thinking, well, there are ING bingos possible. They see the I and the N and they see the floater Gs.
Yeah.
So
He did
not
have
necessarily.
sorry, just slightly. He had calfing on his rack.
Yes.
Let's hope he doesn't play calfing.
Yes.
Well, it's assuming that David would also know that calfing is not good. Which
He
you
might
hope-
just challenge anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
He challenged enough good wins.
Yes.
It doesn't seem to be a style to play that sort of move, even regardless
Yeah,
of the
no.
validity.
He's got flick there, so I'm
Yeah.
really thinking about down the side of shortest. But you'd want to keep the eye. I mean, the ING synergy is so strong. There's only one N left. So 4 eyes.
yeah. If you play flick and you pull a bonus, where does it go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, flick. Looking at it is 18.
Yeah.
And then giving the Y in the Y hook in the O column.
So he's played Phil down at the bottom.
He's played Phil, so he probably wants to keep scoring, but I don't know.
Yeah,
That eye is
that's
critical.
A
I
quick
mean,
play of Joey from David, which
Yeah.
was pretty automatic.
he's pretty much relying upon drawing one of those many eyes. Has he got one? Has he got reaching? No, he hasn't. He's got N-arched. He's got
Yeah.
N-arched into the D
Yeah.
for more or less face value, or N-charge. N-charge through the G of gripped. Great draw considering what he kept.
I hate when we come up with all of this analysis and then the bag just proves us completely wrong. We do know how this game works, I swear.
He's playing N-arched.
Defensive?
Yeah.
Or maybe he's not.
Maybe,
But you reckon he
yeah.
should know in charge.
It's a lot of points to give up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes against the E floating there
No.
nicely.
Actually, it's only 4 points to give up,
Right.
so it's not too. It's
Okay.
pretty reasonable. It slots the H, so it does score.
What was the score for Enarched?
74. So the scores are now 2-7. Should be 2-8-3. No, 2-7-8. Sorry, 2-7-8 to Gautam and 2-50 to David.
So yeah, this is
Complex.
there's not
Interesting.
a lot stand out. So David Eldar is now a tempo behind, and there's no clear way to make it up this turn. You're going to want to continue just to keep pace and hope to draw into some good scoring things later on.
The problem is that he doesn't really have a lot to score with. Best score on the board is Biotope through the P of Gripped for 25, keeping R. Which isn't bad. I mean, you know, if your opponent plays down from the triple, they're giving you a floater. It takes out, well, it frustrates the immediate risk of a double-double through the E. But there are a lot of vowels unseen, so you'd think that was unlikely.
Yeah, the only thing that could really hurt you in the H1 spot is something like beef or coof. You know, slotting the F next to the I in Biotope. So that wouldn't actually be that risky as far as the H1 spot goes. I'm going to put you 3 down, basically an even game, and draw 6 tiles, see what happens. The Z is still out. Just go wild.
What do you make of Pioneer?
Uh,
Yeah, Gautam has Pioneer lined up on his rack for next turn.
yeah, I don't know.
Which I guess you're in a similar position as Dave. Like, basically an even game. He has a tempo lead. The rack doesn't really lend itself to scoring a lot, given the current board position. Of course, anything Dave does may change that evaluation. So, you know, just score what you can and don't make any huge openings that your opponent's gonna, you know, overtake the tempo lead that you have. Pioneer seems like a reasonable play. Don't know if there's any. Doesn't seem to be any better place to cache the P that's there. Dave has Boo lined up.
I think Boo's the instinct play, I think, or playing off BOO. And actually, you know, if Gautam does play Pioneer, he's leaving the P floating nicely, the O. And David has plays down the side of Enarched, depending on where he plays Boo.
So he's played He's
played
Moon, No, and Toe.
Where?
Right there. I-10.
Interesting. That wasn't in the sim. Let's put it into the sim.
Plays Oon and draws UV. What a...
You.
Yeah, that's going to be challenging.
Yeah, Oon is struggling in the Sims. It's about 6 or 7% behind Biotype.
So the play right before Oon was the bonus, right?
Yeah.
So I guess if you put yourself on a better rack than your opponent, because your opponent's rack is random and yours is BEIRT, which is decent. B is a little awkward, but it's decent. Then keeping row 5, the big double lane open makes sense. It's basically if you have a better hand than your opponent, you put chips in the middle of the table and see what happens. So you want to create places to score when you feel like you have a better rack than your opponent, and maybe that's the sort of calculation he was making.
So David's currently behind by 38 points. Bad rack. And Gautam has just drawn a really strong rack. He's automatically got Zoe or DZO down the side of Pioneer would kill all those floaters and score 50.
He also has Zoe to keep with the Batman theme.
Yes, Kapow.
Yes.
David has played Bevu. Now, Bevu is actually simming top with a win of 21%. Creates another opening. Loads of ease to come. But it's only 18 behind.
Well, he's...
Well, he has drawn Rubyist. Which doesn't do anything, does it?
It's not quite distribute from the DI. It needs another tile.
Or puberties. I'll let her short.
Yeah, Gautam's played Zoe immediately. 53, which is showing as a 91% win.
Yeah.
David's got much more chance than that, though. I mean, he's got counterplay, not necessarily narrow, but potential.
Yeah, and he's 71 behind, but I mean the board is so restricted.
Yeah, but if you can open up on the left side somehow.
Well, he's got Buddha,
Yeah,
but that's not going to do
it's
much
not gonna
in
do
terms
much.
of opening. Turbid, keep looking at T for an IEST ending.
Bond, leaving airborne, it's not scoring very much, but something of that ilk.
Yeah, and if you do make if you make an opening play that doesn't really score, now you're getting to the territory where the bonus won't win.
Yeah. Maybe just rely on the P.
Difficult days from Mr. David Eldar. Plays Bub.
He's played Bub, which is a great play.
Yeah.
Bub, according to Championship Player, is the top play, but it only has a
He's got
12.5%
yours.
win.
Yeah, watch yours.
So he's leaving the U soon to work as far as it goes.
Like Yu's going to get
And
blocked.
pivoters
Yeah,
as
so-
well.
You can expect it, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got
And he has pivot. Yeah, he has pivots too.
to
He's played Ewis, leaving 3 in the bag.
And quite a big lead.
Giving it 89 point.
Yeah. So like you say, Chris, the
Yeah.
P bonus isn't doing anything.
Right. Yeah, and pivoters is an air ball, so it's not really.
Yeah.
Gonna,
Yeah.
It's not going to help that much.
How many in the bag?
There are 3 now.
He needs to open something pretty volatile.
So doing the simulation with full knowledge of David's rack, Ewis is coming out at about a 91% win. But David does have the R to play across Ryu
Yeah.
for a big outplay.
So, what exactly is in the bag?
Hold on. So in the bag we have M, F, A.
I wonder if you go in and generate choices, assume the rack, ask championship player. It should know the location of all the tiles. It should be able to solve it. At least for the bingo.
How about something like Croon? Sorry, Rune rather.
Wow.
Setting up Croon and such like. It needs something volatile.
So, yeah, the championship player suggests just PO at E2.
Right.
Because pivoters doesn't score near enough to win.
But
And
then
it's-
surely you just play anything down off the PO downwards, and what on earth can David do?
You'd probably have to hit the Ryu EU lane, hit row 3 and then score like 90 that way.
Yeah, but then it'd have to be R something something, and that's
RE,
really
I don't
restrictive.
I don't know what's there, but yeah, pivoters definitely loses.
Yeah. I mean, Rune would lose, but what if he picks the C?
what's he played? He's played Or.
Yeah, same idea.
Which is almost impossible to block. And leaves 1 in the bag.
Yeah, if I can block up his car, but it's
But
leaves the rest.
it was not a good pickup.
No, the pickups killed him.
So what's unseen to Gotham now?
Oh,
That
actually, the reason Or probably wasn't coming up is that it knew it was in the bag.
With
Yeah, with the full unseen pool, or might be okay, but
So score is now Gautam is 390 and David Eldar 317. It's going to be a frustrating game for David because Northeast is it's
pretty awful.
It's a bad play. To then be hit by another bonus almost immediately afterwards and draw the kind of tiles he has been, It's,
Sort of thing that happens often where your opponent plays something like that and then outdraws you from there. And
Yeah.
if you
And,
lose, it's very frustrating.
so we have an update from the other room. Harshan is ahead 315 to 273 over Austin. The game is still in progress. So we'll be having game 4 with the two of them next on our stream.
Okay. So I'm just trying to wonder what happened to our wireless connection here.
And yeah, this game is pretty much just waiting to be played out. It is a somber day in Gotham City. The people have won, but the Joker brings no mirth.
Yeah.
But remind us what's in the bag. Just to...
So
Just an A.
in the bag is now just an A.
Oh, okay, so from Gotham's point of view, is there anything there or potentially there?
There is nothing there at all, actually, no. Gotham does not have a play that is not 100% win.
Right. But is there anything he might be frightened of, potentially? That he doesn't think it's a word that might be out of those 8.
No.
It doesn't matter, he could
Maybe
lose a move.
something
yeah.
that's ending in
Yeah,
EST.
no. How many times does he need to phony?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah. Well, since David can't get a bingo with the 8 tiles, yeah,
It might be
just needs to play out.
as many as possible.
Yeah. And with all those vowels unseen, I mean, David's quite, well, is he unlucky? I mean, with his keep, it was unlikely he was going to have anything down onto the OR.
The only thing that I see waviest,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's pretty much.
He could have pulled waviest,
Well,
but that's
well,
That's easily blocked.
in
Yeah.
this tournament, I made a 1-tile fish for white on it.
maybe not.
He
Yeah,
just
it's probably
EQ or
yeah. Or play, you know,
or coda.
Coda.
coda. Yeah, drop coda.
He might still play Coda, I don't know.
I think he's just going to score through and play cores, knowing that that'll put him 100 up. He's probably doing the calculations now.
Knowing that the worst possible scenario, even if
Yeah.
there's a silly bonus he hasn't considered, doesn't score enough.
But actually, I think a silly bonus would. If it's 100 up, say he picks out the F, so make 9, 82. Yeah, a silly bonus involving V and, well, whatever, it would win if it ended in T. But he doesn't have to worry because everything is a win. The best end game here is to play Vice off the V. Apparently.
Yeah, that's a nice.
No, it's not. I take it back. It's playing Y's off the through the S, leaving you with C A U A. He's played cores. I mean, yeah, it's, academic. David has Metif, which I also remember from a game around this time last year.
And there it is.
Yeah.
David must also be thinking here, though, if they do go through to a deciding game, whoever leads on spread will start that game. So he needs to play this out as well as he can to give himself a chance.
He's not going to try Vimfest or something like that.
I've accidentally pressed simulate instead of ask championship player, and it's giving Tef a 0.16% chance of winning.
The bag is empty, Quaffles.
Yeah.
Vims and Zos. It looks like.
That's second best. I guess best is Matif and then Sav to go out.
Yeah.
It's 4-2. No, that's right. 4-1-7, 3-1-7. But then Matif brings it to 3-5-3. Yeah, 4-1-7, 3-5-3.
You didn't play Matif though.
Good. No, he didn't. You're right. So I take it back. Oh well. It's all the same.
So, all right, I think we've finished with this. Gautam cruises in comfortably and takes a 2-1 lead.
Do we have final scores?
I am about to.
Gautam will be 2 less than it says.
And then, where did he play? I went out with Tef.
Just take 2 off both scores and we'll get it. Okay.
Went 4, 3, 6,
7,
2.
2 it'll be, yeah.
436 to 372. There we are. We'll be back with. We'll be back shortly with Austin and Harshan.
Any update?
We don't have a. We don't have a final score yet on that. Harshan had a bingo lead about 2/3 of the way through the game. Our last update. So yeah, there wasn't too much that David could have done different with this.
No, absolutely. It's. I think the key thing is now he needs to keep a positive head.
Yeah.
Because this was a game where his opponent showed errors, and it's tough when you're on the receiving end of those. Yeah, you have no choice but jump into the hole that's been dug for you. I think the Indigate shortest exchange was quite crunching for him. Yeah. It's I mean, in this game, it's probably the little plays that did it. You know, the racks, which, to be fair to Gautam, he set up, but Zoe was probably the critical move. It scored so much at a point that David really needed to come back and killed the board. And often those are the things that can make the difference. You know, it's not about out-bingoing your opponent, it's about hitting the right stuff at the right time in these kinds of situations.
And
so,
David certainly hit the wrong stuff when Zoe was played.
Very much, yeah. But
Yeah, the other game is progressing quite slowly. We have Harshan 320 and Austin 331, so it looks like he's played a bonus and come back a bit to take a lead, but they're still going at it.
But it seems as though the scoring has slowed down a little bit.
It's slowed a bit.
it hasn't stopped.
It hasn't quite stopped, but it's gotten to, a little bit of a crawl.
Yeah, and whatever the outcome of that matchup, we will have the two of them playing on the stream in a few minutes. And also these two will play in the other room to see, hopefully we'll get to see a fifth game from them.
Yeah. This is what makes it exciting.
Yep.